Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. And besides, the 8 great beings from Universe Ocean regard Luo Feng as their leader. If Luo Feng tried to stop them, would those true gods actually come? Said that Universe Master in fiery armor. All the other great beings from Purple Moon Holy Land standing around were worried about the same thing. Purple Moon Ancestor, standing in the palace, looked ashen. He glanced around those before him, and nobody in the palace dared to say anything. Instead, they remained quiet. It was silent. Dead silent. Purple Moon Ancestor stayed silent for a long time before saying, "Just go and halt that sector beast, and send that message. You don't need to worry about other issues." "Yes," answered everyone down there. 6 great beings, including the 2 true gods, flew out. Some of them had soul-type supreme true treasures, and some were from the subsidiary races of Purple Moon Holy Land. They weren't afraid of soul attacks, as they had no souls. Humph. Purple Moon Ancestor's face turned pale with rage, seeing that only 6 great beings had left. Since the battle in the world of Jinn, all the elites working under him were dead, and the true treasures carried by all those universe masters were lost. Now, Purple Moon Holy Land was destitute. The Divine Eye clan and the skeleton race may have been richer than they were. Luo Feng. Purple Moon Ancestor was hesitant. He had suppressed the human race and sought to kill Luo Feng before. That made him the enemy of the human race. In the world of Jinn, Luo Feng had killed a large group of universe masters from Purple Moon Holy Land. All the valuables carried by those universe masters had been lost in the world of Jinn. They had suffered a great loss. And the grudge between the 2 powers only grew. Now, humans were the first power in Universe Ocean. Luo Feng was the strongest great being in Universe Ocean. The Sector Beast crisis required Luo Feng. Luo Feng, Purple Moon Ancestor, was terribly upset. A 9-level tower floated in the chaos airspace in Universe Ocean. Inside the tower, Luo Feng stood gazing into the space outside. As for Hong and Fire Dome, they both sat with their legs crossed beside him, immersed in their training. Huh! Luo Feng moved his eyebrows. He waves his hands, and a communications token showed up. Divine Eye True God. Juhi True God. Why did they both send me a message at the same time? Luo Feng was confused. Milky Way, Juhi True Master also sent you a message? It seems that he got the message from Purple Moon Holy Land as well. Divine Eye True Master sent the message. Both Juhi and I have some connections with Purple Moon Holy Land. Just now, Purple Moon Holy Land sent us a message that the Sector Beast showed up right outside Purple Moon Holy Land. Luo Feng said, "Oh? Outside Purple Moon Holy Land? The 2 beings from Purple Moon Holy Land who can resist it are the 2 true gods," said Juhi True God. A large group of universe masters from Purple Moon Holy Land died in the world of Jinn, and their valuables are lost there. After that, they don't even dare to go to the world of Jinn. Without machine-type valuables, those 2 true gods are just mediocre. They're not the Sector Beast's match. Luo Feng sneered. They were as crazy and reckless they could be. Now what? What do they want? Luo Feng sent a message back. The message is very simple. They want us to deal with that Sector Beast, said Divine Eye True Master. Milky Way, should we go or not? Milky Way, asked Juhi True God. The other 7 great overlords regarded Luo Feng as their leader, and besides, humans were the #1 power in Universe Ocean. As for the 2 Holy Lands, East Emperor Holy Land wasn't an enemy of the humans, so they were doing fine. As for Purple Moon Holy Land, they didn't even have a machine-type valuable, so they couldn't even rival the Divine Eye race or the skeleton race, let alone the humans. Besides, neither Juhi True God nor Divine Eye True Master cared about Purple Moon Holy Land. The only thing they were worried about was the Sector Beast crisis. After all, they were the enemies of everyone in Universe Ocean. Tell Purple Moon Ancestor, said Luo Feng indifferently. Give me the component of a true treasure, and I'll help him. Otherwise. Humph. A component of a true treasure? What component of a true treasure? Ju He True God and Divine I True Master were both confused. Just send the message, said Luo Feng. Purple Moon Ancestor will know what I'm talking about. Okay, Divine I True Master and Ju He True God answered. Luo Feng's eyes appeared cold. He was hostile toward Purple Moon Holy Land, but after all, the Purple Moon Holy Land had a component of his Shawu wings, and up until now, Luo Feng hadn't thought of any other way to get it. Sector beasts were the only thing he could rely on. The Palace of Purple Moon Holy Land. Milky Way Horde leader named his price. We need to give him the component of the true treasure he needs. After that, he'll help us. Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. On the square in front of the Ancestral God Palace in the Ancestral God Secret Region, two beings walked side by side. Last time, Milky Way Horde leader failed, but 9 Remoteness True Master failed as well, whispered the youngest Ancestral God, garbed in red armor. I know it's difficult to kill the sector beasts, but I didn't expect even a sector beast from the nest to be so. Walking beside him was a female surrounded by a coat of pink flowers. She was the newest True God of Ancestral God School, Froth Flower True God. Froth Flower True God said, that was only a temporary failure. Milky Way Horde leader said that he only used one of his bodies while he was fighting the sector beast last time. He also didn't bring any impressive valuables, so he didn't use all his power. If Milky Way Horde leader had used all his power, he would have killed that sector beast. Yes. Milky Way separated his bodies into 2 different teams, said the young Ancestral God. One of them was in a spaceship, and the other one is in Star Tower. The team in Star Tower is the most powerful. That's right, said Froth Flower True God. He forced that sector beast to reveal its true body. The stronger team must be able to kill that sector beast. The young Ancestral God couldn't help but turn his head to look at Froth Flower True God. What happened? Froth Flower True God asked. You're not like before, under the pressure of sector beasts. Mo Hua was so tranquil, and I've never seen you so eager and anxious. Froth Flower True God was stunned. She then sighed and said, I'll go first. And she took a step and disappeared. There were many universe portals inside the Ancestral God Secret Region, and one led to a miniature universe in Universe Ocean. It was the miniature universe of Froth Flower True God. Ha. Ha ha. Come. You're not my match. At the center of the miniature universe of Froth Flower True God was an area where the view was breathtaking. There were many creatures living there, yet the creatures were only things that had been gathered by the Froth Flower spirit race. Sister. When Froth Flower True God appeared in the canyon, all the beautiful creatures from the Froth Flower spirit race flew toward her. The Froth Flower spirit race was a race made up of special life forms in the original universe. There were 999 creatures from Froth Flower spirit race born in the original universe in total. 82 of them had died, but the others were still alive. They all looked identical, and they were very close to each other, like family members. They were energy life forms, but they also had the characteristics of plants. They harbored a natural love for peace. What is this? A body. Froth Flower True God gazed at a body lying in the distance. A beautiful girl of Froth Flower spirit race squatting before her. Yes. Sister, you obtained many life forms from the original universe, and they're breeding here. They have formed different kingdoms and races, and they fight each other. I disguised myself and went to the battlefield. I met a young man named Wu Ni. He was very young, only 12 years old. I really like him. I left the battlefield and went somewhere else, but by the time I got back, he was already killed. Froth Flower True God felt sad. He had been killed. If they couldn't survive this catastrophe, the sisters who had lived with her for 1 trillion eras might all die. Milky Way Horde leader, you must kill that sector beast. Froth Flower True God was expectant. Universe Ocean, in the space outside Universe Boat, in one of the 3 lands of Extremis. Because of the world of Jinn, there were few who were still in the 3 lands of Extremis. In this space, Sitting Mountain Guest stood, staring at Universe Boat in the distance. Universe Boat, Sitting Mountain Guest said. Duandong River was almost destroyed by sector beasts, but my disciple inherited it. I sank to this level because of sector beast. Sitting Mountain Guest looked up. There was an invisible force up there exerting pressure on him. Other true gods might not have been able to sense it, but Sitting Mountain Guest could. You don't need to concentrate on me all the time, whispered Sitting Mountain Guest. I know the rules, so I won't go against them. You can't do anything about me. The force was still there, which made Sitting Mountain Guest shake his head and smile. You're afraid of the sector beast, right? He raised his head and said, I know you're scared of it. Do you really think sector beasts will only swallow part of your origin? Not necessarily. It might be able to annihilate your mind, and when the original universe is transformed and reborn, there might be a new original mind. You'll be totally annihilated. Right. The force was still up there. It didn't disappear, but it didn't strengthen. No matter what Sitting Mountain Guest said, it remained steady. Ha ha. You're looking forward to my disciple, said Sitting Mountain Guest. You need to thank me. You let out both the inheritance from Duandong River and the world of Jin. You want to cultivate a peerless genius in the original universe to find a chance to survive. Luo Feng's success is my success and yours. Still, nothing changed up there. No matter what Sitting Mountain Guest said, it didn't react at all. Sitting Mountain Guest shook his head and whispered, Sector beasts. They represent destruction. Because of them, countless powers have been annihilated and countless inheritances destroyed. Everyone depends on my disciple now. If he can kill the sector beasts, we'll enter a whole new era. But if sector beasts prevail, everything will be in vain. All the races in Universe Ocean were expectant. They all thought that Luo Feng was their only hope. After all, other than that particular sector beast, there existed the terrifying sector beast nest, and nobody knew how many sector beasts were in the nest. In the 4th year after Luo Feng fought the sector beast, Rampaging Devil God sent an anxious message to Milky Way Horde Leader, Divine Eye True Master, Nine-Headed Devil Master, and the others. Everyone, the sector beast showed up in front of my miniature universe, and if it keeps eating my origin, the origin of my miniature universe will be finished soon. Luo Feng sent a message. Rampaging Devil God, I've arrived. Rampaging Devil Master was exhilarated. He hadn't expected Milky Way Horde Leader to be right beside his miniature universe. Ever since Luo Feng had voiced his suspicions of a spy in Universe Ocean, nobody knew Luo Feng's whereabouts. Which team is it, Milky Way Horde Leader? Rampaging Devil God couldn't help asking. Of course, Rampaging Devil God knew he could escape the disaster no matter which team it was. However, Luo Feng had told everyone before that he had 2 teams, one of which was stronger while the other was weaker. The spaceship, answered Luo Feng. Sector Beast Morosa stood in the space, and there was black mist permeating. Traces of tortuous light extended toward the space in the distance, swallowing the origin of that miniature universe. I was injured by Milky Way Horde Leader, and I lost a great amount of my power after the fight against 9 Remoteness True Master. I was severely weakened. I've been eating origins for years, and my power has finally recovered. Sector Beast Morosa was furious, but it also wanted to get back to the nest, kill the other sector beasts, and become the ultimate king. If he kept being weakened, it would take it forever. When I become stronger, I'll definitely kill them both, Sector Beast Morosa thought. The space suddenly froze. No. Sector Beast Morosa was shocked. It sensed its surroundings, and a silver spaceship in the distance showed up. It's Milky Way Horde Leader again. Sector Beast Morosa was furious. It raised its head and yelled. Howl. All of a sudden, a multitude of engravings appeared on its entire body. Its body immediately cracked, turning into 99 bodies that tried to flee in different directions. Universe chain. Snowy world. The snow began falling, immediately suppressing the speed of all those 99 bodies. At the same time, the giant chain was floating in the sky, and many thin, long chains extended in different directions like an opening umbrella, forming a chain universe. Damn Milky Way Horde Leader! Sector Beast Morosa yelled furiously. Last time, when it was trapped, it had consumed lots of power to get out. After that, He had eaten some miniature universes to become stronger, but his power had then been greatly consumed by 9 Remoteness Master. Now, it had almost recovered, only to encounter Luo Feng again. It was a nightmare. Even though this golden horned beast of mine can't kill you, it will weaken your power, Luo Feng thought. This was the strategy of Universe Ocean. Blood Mountain True God, Blood Orchid Ancestor, and other true gods who had great godly power all led true gods. Many from the original universe also went out, and each true god in those teams had a great amount of godly power, like plant lifeform true gods and mountain true gods. Many had godly bodies 100 million kilometers tall, and some of them were 10 billion kilometers tall. After the Sector Beasts battles against Luo Feng and 9 Remoteness, everyone realized that consuming godly power was an efficient way to deal with a Sector Beast. Universe Ocean had reorganized their tactics and started to mutually consume godly power. Other true gods couldn't trap the Sector Beast, so the Sector Beast got away again and again, but it greatly slowed down its consumption of the origins of miniature universes. Damn it! The Sector Beast flew through space, looking into the distance. It could see the contours of a miniature universe. They're all trying to consume my godly power. Fortunately, only Luo Feng and 9 Remoteness can greatly consume my strength. As for the others, they can only slightly affect me. That Luo Feng will change directions if he meets me. Last time, he met me right outside the miniature universe of Rampaging Devil God. He must have left. But now, after 3 years, he's back. I'll start to eat. The Sector Beast clenched his teeth. Rampaging Devil God could sense that his miniature universe was being swallowed. It had only been 3 years, but the Sector Beast was back again. There were 20 to 30 lone true gods in Universe Ocean. Why was he fated to suffer yet again? Everyone. The Sector Beast is outside my miniature universe. Rampaging Devil God could only send a message to the outside. Rampaging Devil God, I've arrived. Tell me its coordinates. Ah. Milky Way Horde Leader. Rampaging Devil Master was happy. Okay. A 9-story tower was floating out there. Inside it were Hong, Fire Dome, and Luo Feng. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Finally, the team of Star Tower meets the Sector Beast. The moment Luo Feng fought Sector Beast, he would change location without fail. That golden horned beast body boarded his vessel and left right away. The team onboard Star Tower also followed suit in changing location. Furthermore, there were so many miniature universes within the Universe Ocean, where to go, exactly? At that time, Luo Feng instinctively made a move of intention, and Star Tower made its way right over to Rampaging Devil God's miniature universe. My Star Tower team is much stronger golden horned beast. That is where my strongest combat power lies. Luo Feng's fighting spirit was ablaze. Twice I fought it, and twice it escaped. This time around, I will make sure it cannot escape. This confidence was not unfounded but based on absolute power. Star Tower immediately teleported and headed to the coordinates provided by Rampaging Devil God. Sector Beast Morosa stood in the void space where the surroundings were filled with black fog. Streams of distorted light rays extended right into the void space and continued to devour the origin of the miniature universe. It was maintaining vigilance by keeping close tabs on its surroundings. I hope Milky Way Horde Leader and 9 Remoteness True Master do not appear here. Sector Beast Morosa prayed fervently. I need to become more powerful, much more powerful. Many true god teams were now appearing in Universe Ocean, and all these teams were led by true gods with super great godly powers. While Sector Beast Morosa was helpless against them, it did not fear them. It only feared Luo Feng and 9 Remoteness. Merely a short moment later, the space around him suddenly froze. Sector Beast Morosa was shocked. Huh! Sector Beast Morosa immediately looked off into the distance. A 9-story tower had appeared out of nowhere. When he saw the tower, he let his guard down. Luckily, it was not the vessel 9 Remoteness True Master and Milky Way Horde Leader traveled about in. But it only took a short moment for Sector Beast Morosa to display a drastic change in expression. No, it said when it was finally capable of reacting. This was Milky Way Horde Leader's supreme true treasure, which was highly reputed throughout Universe Ocean, Star Tower. How could it be you? Sector Beast Morosa roared in fury. One of the doors at the base level of Star Tower opened. Luo Feng, in a suit of black armor, walked out with a blade slung across his back. A tail that was swaying behind him. You're right, it's me again, Luo Feng said. You, Sector Beast, Morosa, looked at Luo Feng. It was fuming. It knew the capabilities of this Milky Way Horde leader before it. Even if it tried to escape, Milky Way Horde leader would be able to trap it right away. Then it would be forced to use up a large amount of energy to execute its ultimate technique before it could escape. Sector Beast Morosa yelled, Milky Way Horde leader, don't push it. You yourself know, there is no way you can catch me. Don't press your luck. If I really get angry, I will make sure you regret it this time. Regret it? Luo Feng stood in the void space. Everything was within his control at that moment. If he could get some information from Sector Beast Morosa, then it was obvious that Luo Feng would be most willing to listen. How are you going to make me regret it? Luo Feng pressed, purposely challenging the Sector Beast with a tinge of sarcasm. You alone. You are not my match. My human race is a race of the primal universe. We have many true gods that can arrive at any of our race's miniature universes at any time. You stand no chance at all. Sector Beast, Morosa, said in a low voice, true. Alone, I stand no chance, but what if I were to lead a group of Sector Beasts over here? Luo Feng trembled at the thought of it. A group of Sector Beasts? Oh, God. A single Sector Beast was enough to create chaos in the entire universe ocean. If an entire group showed up, that would be a nightmare. The true gods could also form numerous teams. But if the Sector Beasts were to follow suit, how would the true gods fight them off? You had better not take my words lightly, Sector Beast Morosa said in a low voice. I do have such an ability. This was the truth. The Sector Beast was the noblest life form born in Universe Ocean. After 1 billion Sector Beasts were born, these billion were destined to devour one another until only one remained alive. The surviving Sector Beast would be the final king, and also, the final one who truly qualified to represent destruction. The final Sector Beast who was lucky enough to survive would then qualify to be placed on the same scale as the primal universe. Because it was fated that there could only be one survivor, these Sector Beasts were all born with the ability to detect one another's presence. Sector Beast Morosa was no exception. After it managed to escape the best, it could sense where the other Sector Beasts were, so even if it were to get lost within Universe Ocean, it could rely on its senses to return home. Not only were they able to sense one another, but they were also telepathic and could communicate with one another's souls. And because of this, even if a Sector Beast intended to avoid fighting, there was no way it could get its way. Within the Land of Darkness, there were other Sector Beasts who had detected Sector Beast Morosa's escape. But none of them were concerned. They just had to wait a while longer to devour Morosa. They don't know how delicious the origins of miniature universes are, or how devouring them can help to increase power. If they knew, they would definitely come charging out, Sector Beast Morosa mumbled to itself. However, this is such a precious opportunity, so there is no way I can give it up to them. These origins of miniature universes are all mine. Sector Beast Morosa was unwilling to share its secret. If it were to tell the others, then it would no longer be able to have everything to itself. However, if it was forced into such a dire situation by Luo Feng and Nine Remoteness, where not only was it unable to increase its power, but its power might be weakened instead, then it would, in a fit of anger, tell the numerous Sector Beasts within their nest in the Land of Darkness everything it knew. Even if the majority of Sector Beasts were unwilling to leave their nest, it was an innate characteristic of the Sector Beasts to not usually be keen to leave their nest. Morosa's guess was that there would still be a few who were having a tough time within the nest and would be willing to leave. Luo Feng made a mental note. Then, with a sneer, he said, "Oh. How do you intend to lead those Sector Beasts? Also, within your Sector Beast's nest, how many Sector Beasts are there in all? If the number is small, I won't be daunted." Ha ha ha. If you want to know more information, then you should go look into it for yourself. Go to the nest of the Sector Beasts. You should not behave like the two cowards previously, who only stayed around the borders. They were so afraid that they fled. Venture deep into our nest of sector beasts if you have the guts. As Sector Beast Morosa spoke, Hong, who was within Star Tower, frowned with closely knitted brows. Cowards! Of the two who had entered the nest, one of them was him, Hong. Since you have nothing else to say, let's battle. Luo Feng wanted to make a move right away. Stop, said Sector Beast Morosa, its expression changing. Every single time they fought, it required a long time to restore its power. It was reluctant to fight Luo Feng any further. But the initiative rested in Luo Feng's hands. Even if it were to divide bodies to make an escape now, Luo Feng would be able to apprehend him. So he responded right away, Milky Way Horde Leader, let's make a deal. A deal? Luo Feng raised a brow. Yes. Sector Beast, Morosa, replied immediately. I can swear an oath that I will absolutely not lay a finger on your human race, and I will not devour the origins of your miniature universes. But you cannot put me in a difficult spot either. How about it? Luo Feng snorted. An oath? Of what use is an oath? I can issue an oath under the law, with the laws of Universe Ocean as witness whereof, I hereby issue my oath. By the time the law has been passed down, you will also be able to clearly detect it, and then you will come to understand that there is no way I can break an oath. After all, I am also a living soul that was bred from within the Universe Ocean. I trust you are aware that Zhenjiao Emperor and Dragon Rock Ancestral God are both on the Sector Beast side. Sector Beast Morosa had long been aware of the fact that the various races of Universe Ocean had discovered the true identities of those two underlings. The various races of Universe Ocean had shunned Zhenjiao Emperor and Dragon Rock Ancestral God for quite some time. Luo Feng nodded. Why did they trust that we, the Sector Beasts, would not kill them? This was all because of oaths. Oaths under the law, Sector Beast said. An oath coming from a single Sector Beast like yourself? How can it possibly represent all the Sector Beasts? Luo Feng shook his head in disbelief. Of course it cannot. For those who decided to seek refuge with the Sector Beasts, other than oaths, there are other ways. In short, the Sector Beasts would absolutely not attack them again. Sector Beast Morosa looked at Luo Feng. If Milky Way Horde Leader is willing to come over to us, I can allow you to possess a different kind of power. And in regards to all your Sector Beast crisis, so long as you submit yourself to us, you will be a part of us and will not be affected at all. Luo Feng knew what the Sector Beast was referring to. This so-called different kind of power was the power that Great Thunderstar Master had previously used. It was the power the Sector Beasts possessed. However, Luo Feng was aware of the fact that there was no such thing as a free lunch. Even legends of the ancient civilization had records of numerous powerful nations that had been destroyed but had never sought refuge with the Sector Beasts. From this alone, he could deduce that seeking refuge with the Sector Beasts might lead to another situation. He might even become a slave with no power of resistance at all. Stop your nonsense. Luo Feng ordered coldly. It's also all right if you do not want to come over, Sector Beast Morosa continued to say. How about me not being an enemy of your human race? Wouldn't that be good? Even if we can hide from you, we cannot avoid the other Sector Beasts from your Sector Beast nest, Luo Feng continued in his cold tone. Are you able to get all the other Sector Beasts to swear upon the same oath, to never make any advances on my human race? Sector Beast Morosa was taken aback. How was that possible? Like the powerful Betty, who could get much more powerful by devouring other Sector Beasts, how was it possible to let the entire human race off the hook? In that case, be prepared to meet your doom, Luo Feng shouted. But Luo Feng did not react immediately. He wanted to see if there was any other way to force this Sector Beast Morosa into giving him more important information. Loathsome Milky Way Horde Leader, you are always forcing me into corners. I will absolutely not spare you, absolutely not. Sector Beast Morosa finally let go of all restraints and went wild. It no longer had the patience to negotiate with Luo Feng. With a loud howl, many diagrams of engravings appeared on its body. Enshrouded by 99 diagrams of secret engravings, its body immediately exploded with a loud crash and was divided into 99 parts. Then it started to flee. Luo Feng looked on from afar, sneering. Inside Star Tower, which was not far away, his remote ocean body had 10 silver wings widely spread behind it as its godly power executed the third volume of Duanmia Annihilation. It was also burning up its godly body to the ultimate limit and making use of Shi-Wu wings to activate this technique. In the vast void of space, a white fog began to fill up an area of several light years. This area of void space had long been isolated from the outside world, and an infinitely powerful restraining force enveloped this part of the void space. At that moment, the restraining force far surpassed the force of Snowy World, causing the 99 escaping parts divided from Morosa's original body to slow down. Although its speed was being reduced, it was still flying. Still able to fly. Moshe Luo Feng, in his Wu Qi god armor, looked on from afar and shook his head. He could not be bothered to use a method similar to Universe Chain. He had something more powerful. Star Tower. Luo Feng made a move in mind. From afar, Star Tower suddenly released an incomparably violent outburst of energy, which instantly enshrouded an area of several light years. The entire area was enveloped. The 9 entrances at the base of Star Tower were like 9 bottomless whirlpools, crazily devouring everything. A bout of bizarre devouring force was produced at each entrance. And when the 9 different forces combined into one point, an area of a couple of light years was selected by this bizarre, aggressive whirlpool. It was even stronger than that of single thought void space. Originally, it was already very difficult for the 99 divided bodies to accelerate and fly out, yet upon falling into the endless Star Tower whirlpool world, it started to reduce speed rapidly. Suddenly, rather advancing, it actually started to fly backward. Luo Feng looked at the 99 bodies that flew back, and he couldn't help smiling. He was able to create techniques at level 8 now, and he could utilize the 7th level of Star Tower. The 6th level of engravings of Star Tower was top tier level 8, and the 7th level engravings were level 9. Once it was performed, it would create a terrifying whirlpool world much stronger than single thought void space or Shi-Wu wing. It was not that Shi-Wu wing couldn't rival Star Tower. The center of Shi-Wu wing contained the energies of the former master, so Luo Feng didn't want to use those energies. He couldn't fully utilize the maximum power of Shi-Wu wing. When he used the origin to drive Shi-Wu wing, the power could be maximized, and then, single thought void space would be much stronger than Whirlpool World. Currently, the 7th level of Star Tower, Whirlpool World, was definitely the supreme domain type technique. 9 different kinds of energies had already torn the space apart, forming a terrific Whirlpool World. How so? How did he become so powerful? When I fought him the last time, he wasn't powerful like this. Although that Milky Way Horde leader Luo Feng has several bodies, the power of each should be equal. The 99 bodies of Morosa couldn't resist it at all, and they couldn't help flying toward Star Tower. Star Tower was the center of the dark whirlpool world. The 9 tower doors were stirring everything. Close. The sector beast gave up, and all of a sudden, all the other 99 bodies became hollow. One of them immediately bulged, turning into a sector beast. Sector beast Morosa was trying to resist it. It could barely keep balance without being swallowed. When it separated its body, each of the resulting bodies was weak, so they were easily swallowed. When all 99 were combined into one, it could barely stand still. What should I do? What should I do? Sector beast Morosa was anxious. How was it supposed to run away without disintegrating its bodies? Luo Feng could catch it easily and make sure it would never get away. Besides, under the combination of single thought void space and whirlpool world, it could barely stand straight and was destined to fly slowly. Luo Feng had created all of this, so he could easily catch up with it. Luo Feng, clad in black armor, walked toward the sector beast. He seemed to be walking casually, but he was so fast that the sector beast was jealous. Luo Feng was tens of thousands of times faster than it was while under the combined effects of single thought void space and whirlpool world. Milky Way Horde leader, sector beast Morosa clenched its teeth and glared at Luo Feng. No wonder you're the strongest great being in Universe Ocean. I've underestimated you. Come again. Try your luck. Luo Feng said coldly as he walked toward him. You can concentrate the bloody light into your eyes, right? That move is impressive. Why don't you perform it now? The Sector Beast was furious. He used that move as a trump card. Even if it could temporarily suppress Luofeng, it would do him no good, as it still couldn't get him out of this world. Milky Way Horde leader, you know that I'll call a large group of Sector Beasts here if you leave me no choice, Sector Beast Morosa said, glaring at Luofeng. Don't push me. Let me go. And I swear that I will never target humans in the future. If you let me go, I'll make a vow to the rules of Universe Ocean. This is my only request. Let me go now. You can never attack me in the future, but let me go now. Let you go. I finally caught you, and you think I'll just let you go? Luofeng was smirking on the surface, but thoughts flooded his mind. There was a large group of Sector Beasts in the nest. There was only one Sector Beast in front of him. It was indeed important to kill this particular Sector Beast. To all the races in Universe Ocean, one living Sector Beast was a disaster. You said you're going to lead a large group of Sector Beasts here, but you're trapped here now. How are you going to do that? Luofeng sneered. You don't understand us at all, said Sector Beast Morosa. Only one Sector Beast will survive in the end, and he will be the king. If one Sector Beast runs away and gets lost in Universe Ocean, other Sector Beasts can't kill him. In such an event, there will be 2 or more Sector Beasts that survive. Then the king will never be born. Luofeng nodded. Sector Beasts can sense each other, and we can communicate with our minds, said Morosa. No matter how far we are from each other. That was the truth. After some time, all the Sector Beasts had to return to the nest and kill each other until the final king was born. Sector Beast Morosa said, so you can't kill me. If you kill me, I'll send the message to the Sector Beast nest, and there'll be a large group of Sector Beasts coming this way. Oh, Luofeng answered. You agree? Sector Beast Morosa was anxious. This Luofeng was terrifying. If he didn't kill it, it would be great. Even if it made a promise to the rules of Universe Ocean, it only meant that it wasn't going to kill Luofeng. Other Sector Beasts would still try to kill Luofeng. It knew that the fewer Sector Beasts there were, the more powerful the remaining Sector Beasts would become. This Luofeng was indeed powerful, but he wouldn't be able to resist the Sector Beasts in the future. Agree. Luofeng shook his head. I can't kill you because you threaten me? Does that mean I can't kill other Sector Beasts if they also threaten me? Haha. I can kill you and other Sector Beast. I'll kill as many as I can if they come. Once you're trapped in the area I control, no matter whether there is 1 Sector Beast or 10, they won't be able to escape it. Thank you for letting me know that Sector Beasts can send messages through their minds. As soon as Luofeng finished talking, his force suddenly surged, and he burned his godly power to the largest extent. A blurry phantom showed up in the Whirlpool world, and it charged at Sector Beast Morosa. Sector Beast Morosa was furious. You'll regret this, it bellowed. Regret? Luofeng smirked. Luofeng, clad in black armor, had already driven the powerful machine-type valuable Wu Qi god. Now he took out the Blood Shadow Blade on his back. Blood Shadow Blade was an embryo, and the attack could be greatly improved by being performed through the blade. Besides, Wu Qi God itself was far superior to other machine-type valuables. When the two were combined, Luofeng's power surged. Golden Light Ocean. Luofeng performed the technique, and Sector Beast Morosa, moving very slowly under the combination of Single Thought Void Space and Whirlpool World, couldn't dodge it at all. The blade's light shone under Luofeng, and there were golden waves around him. The waves tumbled, striking Sector Beast Morosa relentlessly. Sector Beast Morosa, who was trying to resist, roared, Why? Why are you so much more powerful than last time? The golden waves weren't actually waves. They were waves made up of blade light, and Luofeng's blade contained gold lore. However, the blade technique was as soft as the caress of a lover. Those golden waves looked soft as they kept patting the Sector Beast. However, they were endless. This was one of the supreme techniques created by Luofeng, Golden Light Ocean. The waves kept eroding the Sector Beast, making it weaker. Sector Beast Morosa yelled in pain. It couldn't believe what was happening, as Luofeng was far stronger than last time. Strong, said Luofeng. You're saying I'm strong? Then it's your glory to die by the hands of a great being. Luo Feng had no mercy. The blade light was unrelenting and kept consuming the sector beast's power. When it was difficult to fight the sector beast directly, one could choose to mutually consume godly power. However, when one was at an absolute advantage, it would only need to lose a small portion of energy to consume a great deal of the sector beast's power. Howl! The sector beast Morosa roared, and the golden body immediately changed into that black, ugly figure. Both of its eyes stared at Luo Feng. You'll regret this. Sector beast Morosa was roaring. All of a sudden, a trace of gleaming black light showed up all over its body. The black light turned red, so bloody that it intimidated all who saw it. The bloody light covered Sector beast Morosa. Howl! Sector beast Morosa roared. Long arms extended from its body. There were over 100 arms, and they were resisting the blade attacks from Luo Feng. The bloody light obviously boosted the overall strength. It was almost as powerful as Luo Feng. The attack from Luo Feng made the sector beast's body sink, but it never actually slashed Morosa. You've indeed used all your power. Then make another move. Luo Feng yelled. Golden Horn of Beast. All the golden waves disappeared, and the surroundings turned back to the dark whirlpool world again. Inside, a blurry golden horn appeared. It looked as if this giant golden horn could pierce through the entire universe. There was endless power in it, and it stabbed toward Sector Beast Morosa. It was a miracle for universe masters to create techniques at level 8. However, Luo Feng had created more than one. Golden Light Ocean was weaker, but it was long-lasting. As for Golden Horn of Beasts, it was only a single attack, so every time it was performed, Luo Feng needed to store enough power. Of course, it was a powerful move. However, the enemies could totally get away when Luo Feng was preparing the power. Fortunately, Luo Feng had single thought void space and whirlpool world so that the sector beast couldn't get away. The giant golden horn pierced through everything. Under level 3 godly power burning, Wu Qi God, Blood Shadow Blade, and the supreme technique Luo Feng performed, the skin of sector beast was pierced through. The black blood of the sector beast flowed in the whirlpool world. This video will end here.